There comes a time, somewhere after 50, when you realize home isn't just about where you live. It's about how you live. It's about who you're becoming and what you're ready to make space for. I'm Julie Ford, real estate expert and longtime wellness coach, and someone who's lived in a multi-generational home for the past decade while reinventing my life and my business. And this is Home After 50, a podcast about what it really means to find, shape, and come home to a new season, to a new home, to a new version of yourself. Whether you're thinking about upsizing, downsizing, moving in with family, or just asking bigger questions about what's next, you're in the right place. Each episode, I will share stories, insights, and real strategies for women redefining home and life on their own terms. Because after 50, home isn't just a place, it's a calling. And this time, it's yours. Welcome back to Home After 50. This is going to be short and sweet this week because I am getting ready to transition the podcast into what I'm calling season 2, where it won't just be me. I will be doing a series of interviews instead of solo episodes. And I have in mind to bring you some great conversations that I think will be really helpful for you to have with your family over the holidays. So conversations that will be supportive of conversations that you may be needing to have with your families over the holidays. So what do I mean by that? If you're someone who has aging parents, oftentimes we are spending more time with our parents over the holidays. And sometimes that means seeing them more frequently and maybe for longer periods of time than we do on a daily, weekly, or just regular basis. And that can sometimes open up the door to learning how everybody's doing. And are they doing okay in their homes? Do they need more support? Maybe it's a conversation about some aging in place support that could be helpful to them, or maybe it's a deeper conversation about how long their home's going to last for them, how long it's going to work for them, and do they need to think about making a move, maybe to a senior living community, maybe to a one-level living situation, to a condo or a different style of home, or maybe you're talking about multi-generational living and it's an opportunity to, with your family gathered over the holidays, have some interesting and hopefully helpful and deeper conversations about what that could look like. So because I know these conversations come up around the holidays so much more frequently, I thought I would bring onto the podcast some people who can help share different perspectives to help those conversations be more productive and useful. So because I know these conversations happen over the holidays so much more frequently than they do on an everyday basis, I wanted to bring onto the podcast some guests who I think will help make richer, deeper conversations for podcast episodes here that I hope will be helpful to you as you're perhaps engaging in more conversations with your family over the holidays. So next week, I am going to bring my first and probably most special guest ever, my mom, onto the podcast to share with you her perspective about what it's like to live in our multi-generational home. And I'll talk with her about this, but I was thinking that it's a very interesting time for us to have that conversation because probably, especially from her perspective, life right now at 82 is very different than it was when we moved in together when she was 72. Drastically different, I'd say, and I think she would say the same. So we will be just talking about what it's like to live together, the ups and the downs of it, what we've learned, lessons learned, things we did right, maybe things we would have done differently, things that are going well, maybe things that could go better. And I hope that that conversation will be really fun for you to listen to and hopefully helpful too. I also am hoping to have an aging in place specialist on the podcast, and she is someone who is also supporting her aging parents while developing a tool for families to stay in touch with one another around all of the issues and conversations and communication that come up for helping parents as they age, and especially as they age in place. That's something I'm really excited about bringing to you. I will also have a guest on who is a specialist in reverse mortgages. So if you or a loved one are over age 62 and you'd like to stay in your home and age in place, but you're finding the finances of that difficult, a reverse mortgage can sometimes be a good solution for that. There's a lot of questions and myths and misconceptions about reverse mortgages. So I'm going to bring him onto the podcast and ask a lot of questions and hopefully bring you some valuable information about that. I'm also hoping to have a dementia practitioner on the podcast. So if you are someone who has a family member who is dealing with cognitive issues, sometimes we see that more when we're spending time together around the holidays. And I'd like to bring you some really practical advice, insights, and tips for how to handle that and how maybe you can feel more supported and more educated around the issue of cognitive impairment. And I have a couple other things in mind too. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll see this when I hold it up. This is the printed version of my complete multi-gen family toolkit. I'm so excited about this. I launched this about a week ago. It's this beautiful 68-page guide full of checklists, more than almost 100. I think it's 98 actual real life conversation prompts that you can have to have better conversations with your family about multi-gen living and planning a home together. I am going to be having a special print gift edition of this for the holidays. I'll probably mention that next week's podcast, how you can get that, but you can also download the digital version now, and it's only $29. I really think that if you're planning a multi-gen home or if you're already in one and you skipped some crucial conversations, that this could be a really helpful tool for you and your family. So you can get that by going to my website, juliford.com/multi-gen. And you can also download my free guide there, or if you want to go deeper, you can get the whole toolkit. So coming up next week, we will have the first of season 2 of the Home After 50 podcast, which will be an interview with my mom, Jane. And I'm really excited about that. And I will see you then. Thanks so much for listening to Home After 50. If this episode resonated, I'd love it if you'd come hang out with me on Instagram. I am at It's Juli Ford, ITSJULIFORD. Just remember, no E on Juli. That's where I share ideas and behind the scenes about multi-generational living, real estate, business, and creating a next chapter that you love. And if you're curious about whether multi-generational living might be right for you, you can grab my free guide. It's in the link right in my Instagram bio. It's a simple way to get started imagining what's next. Because after 50, home isn't just a place, it's who we're becoming. See you next time.